Hey everyone, this is just a quick follow-up video to the last video I did on how to set up an AI NPC with Behaviour Tree in the game animation sample. Just wanted to make a quick shout out to one of the commenters on this video who noticed that they couldn't quite figure out how to get the NPC character to walk. It seems that she's stuck in sort of a running state, and if we go to her character movement section here, and even if we set the character movement speed, so even if we set it to something really slow like 10 units and then compile and hit play, you'll notice that nothing changes. And this is a really good observation. So I'll show you what's happening here and a way to fix it so you can access the walk animation states and get a bit more versatility out of the NPC character from this sample. Hope you liked the video. Please be sure to like and subscribe, and let's get started. Okay, so what's actually happening here? First of all, I'll just delete this and we'll go into the parent class that this child derives from. So it is the main sandbox character. You'll find this located in content, blueprints, and then it's this one here, CBP underscore sandbox character. And the reason why this issue is occurring is that off of event tick, there's this function here called update movement. And if we go inside that, you'll see that there's two things happening here. First of all, it's running this function here called Get Desired Gait. And then after it's done that, on the second part of the sequence, it's calculating the max walk speed based on the result of this gait. So every frame this game is running in, every tick, it's getting the current desired gait and then setting the max walk speed based off that. So that's why even if you change the max walk speed like we did earlier, it doesn't matter because it's been overridden every single tick this game is running in. So if we go inside here, the Get Desired Gait, there's quite a few things happening here, and I'm not 100% sure on what's happening here. I know that it's getting the return value of our input action move, and then it's determining whether the character is running or walking based off this flow of logic. So what's happening here is if we don't change anything by default, it's going to end up at this return node here, which has been set to run. So you can see if I change this to walk and compile and save and press play, you'll notice that the character is now walking. Now, of course, this isn't an ideal way of doing things. I mean, this won't update at real time, but this is just to show you where the actual issue is occurring. Just a quick update from the future here. You may have noticed that I forgot to set the default value of this return node back to run. Later, when I'm playtesting the behavior tree, you may notice that the main playable character is also walking. That is because I forgot to do this, but to fix that, all you have to do is just reset this value back to run, and that will fix that issue. Okay, back to the main video now. So what we're going to do now is we're going to refine our behavior tree a little bit so that we actually have two branches coming off this main selector here. We'll have a branch for walking, and then we'll also have a branch for running as well. So that's what we're going to work on now. But before we do that, there's just a couple things that we need to set up. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go back to our content drawer, and we'll go to the underscore game folder that I created in the last video, and I'm going to create a new folder here, and I'm going to call this Enums. And I'll go into there and I'll create a blueprint enumeration, and I'll call this E underscore NPC desired move speed. And I'll save that and open that up, and I'll set two enumerator values here. The first one we'll call walk, and the second one we'll call run. Save that. Now if we go to our main sandbox character, so this is the parent class that our NPC character derives from, we're going to add a variable, and we'll call this NPC desired move speed, and that will be of type E underscore NPC desired move speed, the enum we just created. Compile and save. Now the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go back to our content drawer, go back to the game folder, and then right click, create new folder, and this time we're going to call it interfaces. We'll go inside that and create a blueprint and then blueprint interface, and we'll call this BPI underscore NPC. We'll open that up. Now bear in mind that I'm not going to go into detail about what enumerations or blueprint interfaces are. There's plenty of videos out there. It's not really the purpose of this tutorial. Okay, and for this function, we're going to rename it to set NPC desired move speed. And that will have an input variable, so we'll click the input button here, and again we'll just call this NPC move speed, and then that will be of the enum type that we created earlier, so E underscore NPC desired move speed, and then compile and save. Now if we go back to our sandbox character again, we need to implement this interface, so we need to click on class settings, and then under implemented interfaces click add, then BPI underscore NPC, compile and save. Now if we go to our interfaces, we now have that new event that we just created. These two functions here are part of a different interface that was already part of the character blueprint. We'll double click on this new event that we created. That'll create an interface event, and we'll just move this up, and I'll put it next to the event tick so that it's sort of staying in the same area of the event graph as where the update movement function is being called. Okay, so we'll put that there, and then what we'll do is we'll drag out our NPC desired move speed variable, select set, and then hook these up like so. I'll just comment on this, I'll comment and I'll write set desired move state signaled from behavior tree. Now we'll go back to our update event function, and then back inside our get desired gait. What we're going to do is we'll just drag this out here, and we're going to make use of a function that's called isPlayerControlled. And that'll return a Boolean value, and we'll drag off that and create a branch, and then we'll hook that up to true like that. So if this character or any of its child characters is a player controlled character, then it will run the normal logic that comes with this character blueprint. But if it has not been controlled by the player, we're going to implement our own custom logic here to determine the gait value. So this is pretty simple. We just drag out our NPC desired move speed as a get value, as a get node, and then create a switch. So switch on E underscore NPC desired move speed, and then hook that up to false. Just drag this down here a bit, and then out of walk, I'm going to type in return. And then I'll duplicate that node, hook this up to run, and I'll change this one to run. Now you notice here that there's actually an extra value here for sprint. Now as far as I know, there is actually no additional sprint animations for this blueprint. The only ones that will work are walk and run. If you change it to sprint, it will update the speed to 700 units, but there won't be any animations for it. So just know that you'll just be using the walk or run gait for this character. Okay, so that's all we have to do here. Now what we need to do is set up our behavior tree so it will change the value of this enum based on what we need the AI character to do. So if we go back to our behavior tree, which you'll remember is located in the game folder and AI. And now what we're going to do here is we'll just switch over to our Blackboard, and we're going to create a new Boolean key, and this will be called CanSeePlayer. and the default value will be false, so we'll just leave that unticked. Switch back over to our behavior tree. Now, I'm not going to worry about setting up any sense perception in this video for the AI. It's really beyond the scope of what this lesson is about. So I'm just going to set up a really simple way to switch between this Boolean value. Implement something like this into your own game. You'll need to set up your own sense perception like sight, hearing, and such. So now I'll drag off the selector and create a new sequence, and I'll rename this sequence to CanSeePlayer, and I'll rename our old one to CannotSeePlayer. And for the CanSeePlayer sequence, I'm going to right click and add a decorator of type Blackboard, and then I will click on that Blackboard decorator there, and from the Blackboard key I will select our CanSeePlayer key that we just created, and we'll leave that at isSet. So if CanPlayer is set to true, it will fire this sequence. And over here I will right click and add the same decorator of type Blackboard, and the Blackboard key will be of type CanSeePlayer, and for this one we will change it to is not set. So if CanSeePlayer is not set, then it will run our walking logic. Now we will set up a new behavior tree task to move towards the player. So I'll go up here and select new task. That will be of type blueprint base, and we'll just create it in the same folder, and I'll name this one move to player, bt task underscore move to player. And then we'll click on the override button here next to functions and select receive execute AI. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to right click, I'm going to type in AI move to, and we want to select this one here, and then I'll hook up the controlled pawn into the pawn input there and add in the execute input there. Now for our destination, we want to right click and type in get player character, and then get actor location, and then hook up this vector output into the destination input. And also the target actor will just connect up the get player character output like so. For acceptable radius, I'm going to change this to 100. Now, of course, with BT tasks, we need to have the finish execute node. So out of on success, I'm going to type in finish X, and we select finish execute and mark success. Out of on fail, I'll do the same thing, finish execute, and I'll leave the success as not true. Compile and save. Close that and go back to our behavior tree, and then out of this sequence here, we'll drag off and type in BT task move to player, and then we'll also drag off and do a wait node, and same as before, I'll do a wait of 3 seconds with a random deviation of 1.5. Okay, so this handles the logic of whether or not our AI NPC can see the player or whether or not they cannot see the player. So if they can see the player, they will move towards him. So this handles that, but what about changing the actual speed of our character? Well, for that, we're going to make use of what's called a behavior tree service. So what we'll do is we'll go up here where it says new service, click on that, and I'll call this BT service underscore set NPC move speed. And this will be really simple. Over here for override, click on that, and then we will select receive activation AI. So when this service is activated, it will fire. And then from this node, we want to get our controlled pawn, and we want to call the interface event that we created. If you remember from our sandbox character, if we go back to the event graph, we want to call this event here that will update the desired move speed enumeration. So we'll go back to our service, drag off here and type in set NPC, there it is there, set NPC desired move speed message under BPI NPC. And then for the move speed here, I'm going to drag this off and select promote to variable. And I'm going to make sure that that is instance editable, and then compile and save. Now, because we've made this instance editable, that means we can actually change the move speed from our behavior tree. So if we go back to our behavior tree and we right click on this sequence here and select add service, we will add the BT service set NPC move speed, and we can select the move speed from here. So if we select this and we'll select run. So now if the NPC can see the player, the move speed will be updated to run. And over here, if we right click, add service, and the same one, and then we will just leave it as the default value of walk. So this will update our NPC's move speed based on whether or not this Boolean condition is met. Now, as I mentioned, I'm not going to set up a sight perception for this. So what we'll do is we'll set up a very simple way to switch the value of this Boolean. So we'll go to our sandbox character. Sorry, no, this is the echo character. We want to go to our sandbox one, the parent class. And then right over here, I'm just going to right click and type in keyboard tab. So this will be called when we press the tab key on the keyboard. Out of the press button, we're going to get a flip-flop node. And then for this, we're going to call an event dispatcher. So if you go down here where it says event dispatchers and select this button to add one here, we will call this CanSeePlayer. And we need an input for this. So if we select the new parameter button here, it will be of type Boolean, and we'll just call this CanSeePlayer. And then we'll drag that event dispatcher onto the graph, select call, and then hook A up to there like so. And then on A, we want to set CanSeePlayer to true. And then we'll drag that on again, select call, and then on B, we'll set it back to false, compile, and save. Now, what we'll do is we'll go to our actual NPC character. So that is the child echo character that we created in the last video. So that will be in content, blueprints, retargeted characters, and it's this one we created here, CBP underscore sandbox character underscore echo underscore NPC. So what we'll do here is we'll just right click, so get player character, and we will cast to the parent class, CBP underscore sandbox character. Hook that up like so. And then out of the pin here, we will type in bind event to CanSeePlayer. And then we'll drag off the event delegate here and then select add custom event. And we'll just call this update CanSeePlayer. So now what's going to happen is that this event here will be bound to whenever this event dispatcher is called. So now we just need to update our Blackboard value. So we'll right click, type in get Blackboard, and then the Blackboard value we want to update is a Boolean value. So we'll drag off there and type in set value as bool. Hook up the execution like so. For our key name, it needs to be exactly the same as the name we created in our Blackboard. So I'm just going to copy the name from the Blackboard, go back to our child character, and then drag off key name and type in make literal, and then paste that name in there like so. And then finally, to update the value, we just need to hook up the Boolean output to our Boolean input there. Okay, so what's happening here? So every time this event dispatcher is called, it's going to call this event in the child class, and it's going to update the value of our Blackboard Boolean based on the value that we specify from this flip-flop node. So I'm going to go File, Save All. Let's have a look and see if that works. I'm going to maximize the screen here and then press Alt-P. Take a look at our NPC character. She's walking. She doesn't see the character player yet. And when I press the Tab key, she now runs towards the character. If I move away, she's going to run towards it again. And then if I press the tab key again, she'll now go back to her walking speed and then finding a random location to walk to. So there we go. That is one solution to updating the movement speed of our NPC character. I know we kind of went through a lot of the things quite quickly. The purpose of this tutorial was just to show you how you can update the speed of the character. So I hope this was really useful. If you liked the video, please be sure to like and subscribe to my channel. And yeah, I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.